Thank you very much. We're going to end with Senior Barrister, Mr. Abdul Karim. What is your own solution? The country, at least the government, has accepted dialogue and that has accepted that there's a problem until you have seen the peace missions that are out there to look for peace. And so probably they're not going through it the right way. To you, if it's not the right way, what should be done and who are those to be on the table for this dialogue? And probably where should this dialogue take place? Because if they say people should come to your own day, there are still some people who are going to complain. So where should this dialogue take place? And who are the people? Because we are saying people are in the bushes, but if they stand and say people should just come out from the bushes, who is going to come? There need to be some directives and some people who will sit on the table and talk. And we should take note that there are also 4 different parts. We have those who are for centralization, federalism, separation, and then the unity state.
Oh, thanks for that question. Before I answer, permit me, my brother, permit me rebut some of the things you said. Mr. Shune, okay, yeah. You painted a picture of Mr. BIYA, which I think it is incorrect. Say the truth, for only the truth shall set you free. He's never contradicted anything. His hands has always been pushed to reverse his position. Not until we were killed before we were given the University of BIYA, GC board, SDF, 6 people died in Bamenda. So saying that one person said and he reversed, I don't think that is the right reading of the situation. Moving on swiftly regarding, I don't think the government wants dialogue. Sometimes we use words without defining them, and when you don't define words, you think that you're using the right word. Because words really have no meaning until you put them in context. If you say, I love this course, it depends if you're talking about a meal or a course in a class. So you need to put it in that context for us to understand. I don't think they want dialogue from the way they are moving on. When you want dialogue, you don't cherry pick the people, self-select the subject. It's not called dialogue. That one would be monologue. But Southern Cameroonians are not looking at negotiations. Emmanuel, you see, if I'm owing you 100 million, and you try to take that money from me and you can't get it, and one day you come home and I quarrel with you and you push my daughter and she dies, you and I are not going to talk about 100 million. Do you agree? The question will be about my daughter now. Yeah, so life is more than money. All right, so more than 10,000 Southern Cameroonians are dead. Many are missing. The IDPs. We don't need to go through this all the time. So maybe dialogue could occur with Anglophones who want to talk about their federalism and their centralization. But as far as I'm concerned, as a Southern Cameroonian, I'm not debating my independence with La République du Cameroon. They don't have that capacity. If I have to debate that, let Britain come, let United Nations come.
And the French.
And the French. I'm not debating that. We're going to be negotiating. We've been for 57 years. What is up now? This is it. And how do you get to that? Like both panelists have said, left and right, we need an enabling situation. What is the enabling situation, condition, or circumstances? First thing to do, release the leaders of Southern Cameroon and every Southern Cameroonian in Yaoundé, Bafoussam, Douala that you've arrested. Release them. That is going to appease, like the brother said that day. Secondly, demilitarize our streets. We cannot be talking with guns over our heads, with bullets raining on our people. Demilitarize our streets. Thirdly, sign a document to the international community that our brothers will come from abroad and they will not get missing. I don't want to use the word amnesty. Tell the world that Southern Cameroonians who have been banned from coming into their country can now come freely without them getting missing, chased away, or being locked up. And then we need to sit, but in a neutral ground, on a neutral ground, under the auspices of probably African authorities. That clown of a house like AU is there, but we like individuals like Sir Rollins of Ghana, like Professor Lumumba, and of course the United Nations has to come. They need to explain to us Resolution 1335, 1608 and 1514. They should come and tell us. We need to ask them a simple question. Did you give us independence? Or were we qualified for it? Okay, yeah. Did you give? No. What happened to it? They need to answer those questions. They need to tell us if the instruments of governance of Southern Cameroons, according to the Charter of the United Nations, was supposed to be given to an already existing government or to AIJO. That is where our debate is, if we need a debate. All right. So when already you give preconditions, and you know that by and large for 3 years, if Southern Cameroon is not working, if it is ungovernable, it's because people say they have restored their independence, and then you say that one is not on the table. I'm asking you now, Emmanuel, I'll be honest. If you say that, do you want to dialogue? Why can't you go to Bamenda freely? Why are children not in school? Because they want federation. 10,000 are dead because they want federation. And then you say that subject is a taboo, don't bring it up, but come and dialogue. Look, it's a child's play. It's a child's play. So for these callers who call and say we are adding more fuel, look, you are reversing. It's called secular thinking in reasoning. You're not looking at things clearly. You have, and I don't blame you. If you have yellow fever and you think I'm yellow, it's your problem. What you need to go and do is take medications for yellow fever. You realize that I'm not yellow. I'm dark in skin. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much. Barrister, last solutions to end the program today. Give us your, if the government is not going through it the right way, they have accepted to dialogue, so give them your own propositions for them on how to go through this problem.
I like to concur with what my good friend Karim Abdul has said, and I will add this. We will not negotiate with the Republic of Cameroon in Cameroon.
Okay, the negotiations is not going to take place in Cameroon.
It cannot take place in Cameroon.
Okay, that's your
And also, he did not want to talk about amnesty. I'm saying that wherever it's taking place, every Southern Cameroonian, home and abroad, should benefit from a general amnesty. General amnesty also includes you take responsibility and nobody is missing. Because you can come to an African country for the thing and they will arrange and pick you up and take you to an unknown destination. Thirdly, I'm sending this message to Mr. Frundi. You are not a neutral broker. You cannot be a mediator in this matter. Take it into your score that you, Mr. Frundi, chairman of the SDF, that yesterday with the Prime Minister you were projecting yourself as one of the mediators, and you went and gave lunch to the Prime Minister, and you are whining and dining on the one side, and you want to be a mediator. I am saying that no Cameroonian, including you, Mr. Frundi, will be a mediator in this matter. We will not accept. We are ready to negotiate our departure, our separation, in a foreign land by foreign mediators. I am even frightened of that club of dictators they call the African Union. But they are dignified Africans. Like Karim just said, any of the dignified African that is chosen, we will accept and we will sit on the table and we negotiate. That is what I'm adding to what Karim has just said.
Some people are writing online that you should be on the debate table, that they want you to stand, and also if they are calling for a dialogue, you should be part of it.
That will depend upon how the people will see it. I am saying that certain Cameroonians who are living abroad, if they benefit from the amnesty, they should be allowed to come to Cameroon and consult with Ground Zero. Well, you cannot go negotiating without us talking to Ground Zero. Ground Zero are our bosses. A young man just said that we are sending youths to die for whatever. Look, my young man, if I was still as young as you, from the voice I heard, I would be in the bush. I am telling you, I'm too old to go to the bush. I will not be of any use in the bush now. I'm telling you, I may be living in Douala. My soul is not in Douala. And listen, all men fear death. I would have been in Bamenda or in BIYA. Now, to tell you the truth, all of us, anybody who is going to be chosen to be on that table, we are going there with no precondition. Everything is on the table. You federalists, you want to come on the government side, that's your problem. But the team we are forming is a team that will negotiate for our independence. We are saying that we are already independent. We were independent on the 21st of April 1961, when the United Nations General Assembly took that vote. La République de Cameroon voted against us, along with France. Look, I am happy that some of my Southern Cameroon brothers and sisters and children and daughters are saying that I should be part of it. God being my helper, if I'm still there, if they chose me, I will be there. If they don't choose me, I will give my 100% support so that we come out there solidified and ready for our independence. We deserve the right to self-determination. We deserve the right to talk for ourselves because we had our independence. Our president who was sitting there in jail in Yaoundé, they restored it on the 1st of October 2017.
Barrister, 1 minute, I have a last question for you before we end the program. Like, most people are afraid of one thing, that having independence is one thing, but look at a country like Southern Sudan who fought for independence when they gave them and they could not handle it. So is Southern Cameroon ready? If they give us the kind of independence, is there not going to be more chaos? Because it's just like South Africa, that the apartheid, they handed them political powers, but they don't have economic power, and they still have crisis up to date.
Thank you, Emanuela. If you look at the Southern Cameroon and you look at the people of the Southern Cameroons, they are some of the most educated Cameroonians in those Cameroonian days. They are some of the most educated. We cannot fall into the same basket with South Sudan. Secondly, we have our resources. We have our resources and we have our land. Our land borders the sea. South Sudan is suffering from being landlocked. They have oil that has to go through Sudan for it to be shipped. We are not. We have the Gulf of Guinea, we have Bakassi, we have all of the northern zone with all the minerals that La République has come up with a map showing where every mineral is, and we thank them for that. Let me tell you, we cannot be South Sudan. We are intellectually strong enough not to fall, not to start fighting or creating warlords. We will not accept any warlord, whether from abroad or from ground zero.
But Barrister, there's a lot of division now, even in those in the
diaspora.
There
is always division, Emanuela.
Some people are even afraid that
read the PLO, you will find out that if Abdul Nasser was not killed, Yasser Arafat and his people would have seen the homeland. Let me tell you, in a revolution like ours, there are people who want power, fighting for power when we don't even have power. We don't have power. The divisions are bound to be there, but we are going to unify. We are even unified. We have one strong position, and all of us are looking at one direction, our independence, and we will resist until we have it.
Thank you very much, Barrister.